Hey guys, David with Our Week in Homestead. So it's been about 2 months since we put the bee house in with the mason bees, and I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update. When we put the cocoons inside the hatchery, we counted them and noticed that we only had 16 that had hatched. So we had a total of 16 mason bees that were released in the house, and we watched them for a day or two, and a couple came and went, and we see remnants of what we thought was mud, but I was doing some reading. It can either be mud or it can be bee poop. And we also noticed that in the grass reeds, the bigger ones, the ones that the mason bees will use for their nesting, that there is mud and debris inside there. We have honeybees at our ranch, and we're used to seeing a hive with 10,000 bees plus, and you know when the bees are home. Here it's not so obvious. We occasionally see one come and go, and if I had to guess, there's probably 8 or so in here. So that's the update of where the mason bees are. Now this week, we're supposed to receive a shipment of 200 leafcutter bees. And so I really want to put our best foot forward and make this house more accommodating to the leafcutter bees than, let's say, it was to the mason bees. I purchased this nesting box, which comes apart in pieces, and we can do a video on how to pull the cocoons out of it at the end of the season. But the leafcutter bees are more of a warmer weather bee. It's more of a summer bee, and it's starting to get, temperatures are starting to get up over 75 degrees here. So what I want to do is I want to put this nesting box inside our existing bee house. The problem is this nesting box is 3¼ inches tall, and I only have about 2½ inches. So if you remember from our last video, the bigger grass reeds are for the mason bees and the smaller grass reeds are for the leafcutter bees. So I'm going to cut a piece of cardboard and carefully try to separate the large from the small in order to lift the mason bee reeds up and slide this leafcutter bee nesting box in. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you watch that montage, it didn't quite go the way we thought it would. And Lisa and I were kind of laughing, thinking, oh, well, was there really ever any bees in here? I mean, we're trying to save them. And then we came back and set up for the shot. As we're standing here, a bee flew out, a mason bee flew out. So I'm not quite sure how many are in here. So we removed the smaller grass reeds, pushed them on top of this nesting block. And honestly, with 200 cocoons coming, I just want to make the best of the opportunity when they get here. So I think this is our best chance for success. We have seen some bees in our garden, and we're just hoping that when we get the 200, we're just going to see a lot more of them. So we're going to show you how to double check those reeds and make sure they're not full of something. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to check each one of these that we took out of the bee house and make sure that it doesn't have any bees or cocoons in there. When we bought our kit, it came with this mesh bag, and this was so you could set your bee house in here and close it up, and then you could see what pests come out of your bag. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check each one of these grass reeds, and then I'm going to put them inside the bag and close the bag up. And then tomorrow morning we'll check and see if there's any bees in there or what else comes out. So the way we check these is we take a skewer, and if you notice on the grass reed, it's capped at that end. So the skewer ought to go in about this far. And we gently poke it in there, and if you notice, there's nothing in here. So we're just going to do this to the remainder reeds just to make sure they're empty. All right, so now that I've checked them all, it seems like there's nothing in them. Go ahead and lock them in this bag, and again, we'll see how they do tomorrow. So here we are, the day's finally here. The leafcutter bees have shown up, so we're super excited to get them into the bee house, and I'm going to show you how we do that. So step one, when we received them, about 30 minutes to 45 minutes before we're putting them into the bee house, we put them in the refrigerator, and that way if any of them have emerged from their cocoons, it calms them down so they don't want to fly away the second you open the box that they came in. The next step is we're going to go ahead and spray the nesting box with Invita Bee, and there are two different types. There's the Invita Bee for mason bees, and then there's also the Invita Bee for leafcutter bees. So this summertime bee is the leafcutter bee, so I'm going to go ahead and get the box prepped for that. All right, and now I'm gonna pull out our nursery, and the moment of truth, we're gonna go ahead and open the bee box. Hopefully they're all still in here. Oh yeah, get a load of that. So that's 200 leafcutter bees, and if you notice, the cocoons are all kind of wrapped around in leaf debris. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle them in here. And I'm going to kind of dance them around so they're not really stacked on top of one another. And we're going to set them in there, and now we're going to wait. I'm going to go ahead and put the bird guard back on the bee house, and then in the next couple days they'll start emerging as the summertime temperatures hit. It's about, I'd say, 75 to 85 degrees here. We're kind of going back and forth, so I don't think it'll be long before they emerge from their cocoons, and we'll check back in a couple of days. So here we are about a week and a half after installing the leafcutter bees, and the hive is crazy. Depending on the time of day, you can come out here and you'll see 20 of them just buzzing around, going in and outside of the nesting boxes. So it's worked out really well. Managing expectations for people that have never done it, with the mason bees, again, starting with 20, only having 16 hatch, and then you only see one here and there, can be a bit discouraging. The whole goal when we started the video was basically to make sure that the leafcutter bees were really doing it for us, and they are. You can go in the garden and they're everywhere. So this all in all has been a success, and we're really looking forward to seeing what they do and how they impact our garden. So we have a ton of exciting videos coming up. We're going to head to the kitchen and make some homemade pickled eggs from scratch. We're going to start taking some of our harvest and start processing that, and we're even going to make some beeswax lip balm. So if you don't want to miss any of our upcoming videos, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if you have any comments, please put them down below. We love connecting with you, and we decide what content we're going to make based on the input we get from our viewers. So please don't hesitate to leave us a comment. If you liked the videos, give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.